Maybe it's...
Good morning. It's University of Sewing and it's Facebook Live, and we're here. And I have Pat with me, and Rachel's going to join us in a little bit. But one of you called, and we're taking care of our customer, aren't we?
Absolutely.
Okay, guys. So we are back in our fabric, and there's a reason for this. So over the last year, I've been asking you guys, meaning you, our customers, what you wanted to see in the shop, what you were interested in, what were we doing right, what, you know, and this is in the fabric realm. What do you want exactly? And so one of the things that I kept on getting some feedback on was batiks. And the batiks in particular that you guys seem to want more of were kind of the tone on tone, maybe not as much of the prints. Not that you didn't want the prints, but just maybe not as much. So, or at least not a big focus on that. So we're working on that. We've ordered the fabric. We're getting some of it in, but I wanted to show you, we have expanded on our batiks and what we've got right now. And I'm going to have Dave kind of do a visual here so you can see. So all of these racks right here, there are 4 of them, and they go 3 rows down.
Margaret, you know, we've changed our format a little bit here this morning.
Oh.
Because Suzanne, Donna, and I'm going
Kathy
blank
Neal?
here. I think it was someone else, have already shared.
Oh my goodness, you guys are the best. Okay, why don't you go get what we're giving away today? Yes, we will tell you what that is in just a second. See, what happened, guys, is as soon as we were getting ready to get on Facebook Live, the phone rang. Well, we were going to start out in the front of the shop, and then we had to change where we were starting, and guess where we left the giveaway? We left it out on the table. So that wasn't useful.
I am here. I was helping a customer on the phone. Oh, and who do we have here? We've got a great big jolly old Saint Nick.
Isn't he awesome?
Won't
He's
this
so
be great?
precious.
Again, please remember that we have all of your needs for your holiday sewing. And if you share our video and you put in the comments that you shared, you can be entered to win this gorgeous happy Santa Claus panel. How great would this be hanging on your wall, wrapped around a kid taking a nap on the couch in front of the fire?
I'm thinking the perfect like Christmas lap quilt to give to the
Absolutely.
grandkids, or if you're doing charity things.
This would make
This is going to be
fast
really
and gorgeous charity
there.
quilt.
There you go. And
Absolutely.
we have something else.
And we have something else. We also are going to include this Schmetz needle identification luggage tag. So on one side, you get all of your color coding identification for your Schmetz needles that work in all of your Bernina machines. And on the back, you can put in your name and your address. You can hang this on your trolley for your machine so that when you go to retreats, you can make sure that you have your needle information and your
really
personal
is
information.
It's so helpful.
So go ahead and hit that share button, guys.
Okay, now can I get back to my
Now
boutiques?
You can.
Now
Can I get back to my boutiques? Thanks.
Great colors.
Okay, so the boutiques here, we have some amazing boutiques. I mean, how cool is this? I mean, this is definitely very Marcia Durst looking. We've got, for those of you who are doing some patriotic stuff, or you just happen to love stars,
So,
this is gorgeous.
Margaret, you
Oh
take
my
it for
goodness.
granted. You take it for granted that people know what batik is, and we refer to it, but you should kind of explain it a little bit.
Okay, so batiks are a process of dyeing fabric. And so most of the batiks that are made in, that you see on your shelves, there's a tremendous amount of them that are actually made in Indonesia. And so it is a process that they use wax, and it creates a resist, and then that leaves a spot on the fabric that is not dyed. A lot of times then what they do is they go back and re-dye them again to get another color into them. They're really fascinating.
You get these gorgeously dyed fabrics. And the great thing about batiks, and the thing that I know quilters really love, is that they are, open it up, they have patterns on both sides. You get the dye penetrates through to both sides of your fabric. So you don't have to, so you get to pick which side you
Right.
want.
And one of the cool things about the batiks is that if you're going to do any of the fusible artwork where you are taking and fusing fabric, then you're cutting out shapes, and then you're putting it to create maybe a landscape or a design of any kind. Batiks are especially wonderful for this because they have no white edges.
No white edges.
No
yes,
white
no,
edges.
it goes
When you
all
cut
the way to
them, the
bottom.
dye goes all the way through. Unlike our prints, which that doesn't happen with. So, like I said, we have some really wonderful, wonderful prints, but we are starting to get more of what I call the solid batiks. Now, that's not accurate. They're not a solid. They look more like a blender. They are more of a, they have this wonderful quality of not being perfectly even in the color.
They almost look like an alcohol dye. Like, you know, when you take like...
Now you're going to have to tell people what that is because they aren't going to know what that is.
Almost like when you put... think about the rainbow slicks that you see in a gas puddle. You know, like that's kind of like what it is. And so you get this great effect on these fabrics a lot with that. And they're just fantastic.
They are so much fun. They're beautiful. They're very unusual. They are not traditional looking. Although if you want something that's kind of fun, this one has prints of a quilt block on it. So there's some really interesting things in here. This one I love because it's got all these canoe scenes on it. So if somebody is into camping, they love this kind of thing. That is really beautiful. So what we have done is we're looking at now that we've always had this one side, and we've kind of got, at one point we hadn't filled up this side. And so generally that had kind of gotten taken care of, that we had filled this side up. And then I was almost to the point I was not going to carry these anymore. I had come very close to making a decision about not carrying batiks. Well, then I had literally, as soon as I had kind of made my mind up that that was what I was going to do, in the next 2 weeks after I thought about that, I had person after person asking me for batiks and talking to me about batiks. And we still have to talk about these over here. Our purples are over here. So like, let's switch spots here, Pat.
Well,
So,
yeah, but
look at this one.
I love that one.
Isn't this gorgeous? This is so beautiful. These are really lovely. And so Banyan Batiks actually made one where they printed on top of, after doing the batik dyeing, then they printed this on top, which I thought was really cool. So I had all these people telling me, no, Margaret, you've got to get more of them. So I want you to know that these kind of solidy ones are coming in. We've also got a new line from Robert Kaufman that's going to be coming called Sky. And Sky is an ombre. So it starts off with one color and it's going to go into another. And this is all done with batiking too. And so that one's going to be coming in. So keep an eye out if you're working with something on a batik project, because usually people tend to work all in batiks, or they don't tend to mix their batiks and their prints, which I think is really funny. I don't know why it's a problem, but I think that it's totally a doable thing. Oh, yeah. So what I'm going to tell you is that there's going to be more coming. And we did get some in recently, but they've gotten mixed in here, so I can't point out the exact solids. But we already have now some golds. We have some oranges. We definitely have them in pinks. So where we are really lacking at the moment is in our blues. We have 1 or 2 blues that are kind of in that solidy range. But what happened is they all got purchased.
Yeah.
So I've got more on order, and I saw a recent invoice that's coming through. We are going to get some more. We should have them in next week. So if you're in the market for these, if you're thinking about this, we've got some cool stuff coming. So I wanted to talk about that because, you know, we don't tend to spend a ton of time on like what we have as far as a just what our process is about how I'm purchasing and so forth. And I think we do a good job of finding really cool, pretty prints. Because
Let's talk about some
really cool, pretty prints.
So you guys know that my daughter Maddie has been learning to sew here at the University of Sewing. They've been signed up for the youth sewing camp. They did it last week, and they're going to do it next week as well. And on the drive in, when we were going to head in and we were going to purchase fabric for the camp, they looked at me and they said, "Mommy, am I allowed to buy Tilda fabric?" And I said, of course you are. And I told them, I was like, do you know this week we got in 6 new bolts of Tilda
there's
fabric?
More. I couldn't put them all out on the table.
We got in like 10 new bolts
I
of Tilda
couldn't
fabric.
put them all. What I thought we
Look
would do
at
is show them off, and then we'd bring the other ones out. We'd put those back on the rack. And
How
put those back.
gorgeous. So like, yeah. So Maddie, if you're watching this, look, I told you that we had some new like rusty colors in this gorgeous like mustardy yellow here. I adore these so much. They almost look like blenders, and in typical Tilda fashion, you can just mix and match them. Like they will go with everything else. Like just put them all together.
All right. So we're gonna
swap these out.
We're gonna swap.
Look at these just beautiful prints. I mean, how do they do it every time?
Sorry, I didn't mean to pop you. Okay. All right, so here are the reds that I got. Now, this is all from the Creating Memories collection. And so there's some reds and some blues here.
Look at that.
And they are stunning. The print is so beautiful. And, I mean, it's really, one of our customers said to me this past week, and I thought it was a really good observation, is that they kind of look like a modern take on 1930s fabrics.
Oh, definitely.
So I thought that was a great comment on them. Now, I did not get the entire collection of Creating Memories because there's only 64 bolts in it. I wasn't.
We
I
could
did.
make
I was.
room,
I mean,
Margaret.
yes, we could make room, but we're not going to.
This dusty
I might
blue.
add
Oh my
it,
gosh.
Dave. Come on over here, because what I did do though, is I got fat quarter bundles of the fabrics, and they're amazing. And I'm not just saying they're amazing, but they really are amazing. And so what I want to show you, I did see a couple in here that I'm going to have to get.
Oh, right.
Look at this stripe. Look at this stripe. It's amazing.
Well, you know, like
These
colors.
are
These
so
are my colors
gorgeous.
right here.
And I love stripes on every day of the week. But you know something? This is really, really cool because if I'm not mistaken, this is a woven
like
stripe.
Yeah.
It's a woven stripe, guys. Oh my God. Those are so rare. And that is so beautiful. And that tiny little print or the tiny little stripe. Oh my God. It's so beautiful. And so we've got shades of red here. And then we've got our brown rust kind of color with some peaches in it. The mustard is in this group. Oh my gosh, they're so beautiful.
I love that. I love the little like mustard with the pink in
I am very fond of this entire line, and it was a real struggle bus not to order the entire thing. It was ridiculous. I wanted all of it. I understand that we all want all of it, but I couldn't. It wasn't that we didn't have the space. I couldn't afford it all at one time. You know. So, but maybe we can go ahead and order some more before they're gone. Guess what they did though? They're such brats. They added more chambrays. there's more chambrays here, guys. So we're going to have to get some more chambrays because we carry all of her chambrays. And then
Also,
look at the dots.
how
Oh my God.
adorable
The dots
the
are
polka
so
dots
pretty.
are.
Yes, they are fabulous. So I need a vote from you guys. Do we get, I mean, I was going to get all the chambrays. Do we get the dots? I've been
green. Oh my
just
gosh.
trying to figure out if we even get the dots. I've been getting them as fat quarter bundles, and we sell them. But do you guys want the dots too? So we'll get the chambrays. Look at this new pink.
Gorgeous.
Oh my God, it's so beautiful. And this gray. I am in love. I think that gray is gorgeous. So we are going to get the stripes, at least some of them. And we're going to get the chambrays. We will do that. So that'll all be part of it. But do we need the chambray dots? I have just been trying to figure out that one. So we don't have to.
Dots.
There's no reason we have to. But we went ahead and got some more of the fat quarter of the cools and warms of the solids. And
Just
don't forget,
so
though,
saturated.
they're very beautiful, but don't forget, we do have confetti, the Riley Blake collection called Confetti. And so that one is here, and we have the RJR cottons that between the two of them, they really do match most of the Tildas. And the thing that's kind of nice about going with the solids of those two brands, other than the Tilda solids, is they're almost half the price. So that's why I decided not to get the solid collection of the Tildas. As much as they are nice, they're twice the money. So it just seems a little hard for me to understand why those solids are so much more expensive. I know they feel great, but you know what? So did the confetti collection from Riley Blake, and so did the RJR. They feel great too. So
those
I
are
just
great solids.
think that wasn't. I want you guys to be able to sew, and want you to be able to afford to sew. So that's why I do
Overrated.
that. So that's why I do that. Okay, well, what we were originally going to do, and now we're going to switch gears here a minute. We had a really cool thing happen this morning. Really cool thing happened this morning. Now, it wasn't this morning in Pakistan, but it was actually in the afternoon in Pakistan. And our young ladies and older women who have gone through the sewing school, they graduated today. How cool is that?
Awesome.
They graduated today. I will have pictures up of the graduation of. You should have seen their garments were hanging all around.
Oh my gosh.
And they got their sewing machines, and they said that when some of them got their sewing machines, they just cried. They are already starting, some of them are already starting to make money taking and sewing for people. So they're so grateful and so happy.
Yeah, and this was done not just as a hobby.
No,
And they had their little portfolios created where
they
they could go for job
to
interviews.
be able to show people what kind of sewing they do.
Oh,
This is amazing. Each one of them has a booklet, and they have all these sleeves in it, and they have their different showing, like each one of them has like a little purse in it. They learned how to do embroidery, they learned how to crochet, and they learned how to sew. And everything was just amazing.
It sounds like they were teaching them marketing as well as
Yes.
sewing.
Yes.
I think
Yeah,
so.
so
I
like-
think so.
Entrepreneurship.
Yes, because the fact is that the Christian women in Pakistan are pretty much second-class citizens, and they really can't get many jobs.
Right.
And it's actually not terribly safe for them to get jobs out in the public. With them being able to sew, they're going to be able to work from home and they could work at some of the sewing places where they make clothes. So that's a possibility. But this was more to encourage them to work at home, be able to be with their families, be able to take and make money and help their families so that the kids potentially can now go to school. because the kids, if they can't pay for school, they can't go to school. And so their life is extremely different than ours. Now, why are we telling you about this? Because we actually sponsored that this past 6 months. We sponsored this school. I made sure that they were able to buy their sewing machines here recently, and we need your help. We're going to do this. This is going to be 6 months is what happens for this. And we really need your help. If we're going to start the next school, if we're going to get them to be able to do another 20 women, so 20 women graduated from this, and they got sewing machines at the end of this. It's really something else.
Mention about what type of machine this is, Margaret.
Okay, this is a hand crank sewing machine. Their electricity is very intermittent. They don't know a lot of times when they're going to have service. In fact, this morning we got up really early so that we could participate in the graduation. They lost service for about an hour and a half, and we didn't get to see all of it. But then they came back on, and we did get to see that, everybody waved to us and said hello and everything. So we were able to participate somewhat. But since their electricity isn't dependable, you need to have a sewing machine that can be used with or without electricity, and that's what they have. And so this is a really unique setup. What our hope is that it will be something that they can change their entire lives with. And, I can tell you for a fact, sewing changed mine. I mean, I was working, before I learned to sew, I was working as a waitress. I'd worked as a hostess. I cleaned houses for people. When I learned how to sew, it changed my life, and it gave me a trade and a skill, and it gave me the ability I did that work for 30 years, and then I was able to start this business. If you have it in your ability to do it, would you please help us help these women? This is so amazing. If we can just change lives by, just anything. So, and Pat was telling me, one of the things we have here at the shop is this box.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Margaret. I want to interject. So the biggest thing is, if you enjoy sewing, you enjoy making things, whether it's quilts or garments, please help us help these women do this, because they will enjoy it as well. I just want everyone to enjoy it. And all you have to do is, before you come into the store, take out a $1 bill, drop it in the box. When you're paying here at the cash register.
Or a 5 or a 20.
5 or 20, whatever you want to drop in, or whatever you can. When you're paying here at the cash register, you can write a check. You can drop in the money. It's just that easy to help someone else have that enjoyment and that purpose in their life, because people need purposes in their life to keep them going.
It's so true, because you know what? You see all these different charities, and they just throw money at things. I am not a big believer in that. I think that, yes, some of the charities, they definitely need money. But this one's so unique, because every single penny is going towards these women learning how to sew. It goes for the teacher, it goes for the fabrics they use, it goes for the sewing machines. And that's it. They do not have any overhead. There's not some person out there, making, $75,000 a year running the organization. That's not what's happening here. This is amazing to have an organization where every single penny is going towards helping the people that it's meant to. And then it's not just giving them something, it's training them with a skill. Yes. And how wonderful is that? I mean, it's just pretty great. So, all right, guys, we have 5 minutes before the shop opens. Let's end things with just, if you can, don't forget, on the top of our Facebook page, we do have the link to go and donate to this charity. And, I just know that we really do appreciate anything you can do. All right. take it away, Rachel.
All right, one last time. Don't forget, it feels a little bit strange saying this after we talk about like give to others, but also maybe like win something for yourself.
Oh, I think that's wonderful. I think it has to be both.
We can do both.
It has to be both.
Don't forget that in the next 24 hours, if you hit that share button and you put in the comments that you shared, then you can be entered to win Jolly Old Saint Nick, this wonderful, beautiful pattern or panel from, is this Northcott? I think.
You know what? I
can't remember.
I don't think so. Oh, it is Northcott.
It is Northcott. So it's got that gore, because I was like, it feels like a Northcott fabric. It's so soft. And the Schmetz needle identification luggage tag. You can get both of these entered into a drawing to win both of these prizes if you just hit that share button. And don't forget that doing that means you are helping a small business. And even if you're out of state, we will ship your prizes to you.
Thank you for sharing our videos. And I just can't tell you how much I appreciate all of you. Have a fantastic Saturday. And don't forget, in another week and a half, we're going to be unveiling that magic 990 from Bernina. So keep watching our videos. I promise you we will bring you everything as we know it. Have a fabulous day, everybody. See you next Friday for Facebook Live.